Hey guys, real quick, I want to show you this process on how you can use the Mac to quickly pull backgrounds off of pictures that you've taken. So what I have the Spirit Week Twin Day that we're going to use, and we've got remove BG. So there's an example of pulling off the background. So what I'm going to do is you're going to double finger tap and come here and give me a second, double finger tap, come here and download it right there, which it's already downloaded. So it's going to download into a zip file. That's what it looks like. It downloaded into a zip file. Now you notice where I've got the screen, you can pull the screen, now it's done. I'll pull the screen where I can see it. And here's why, because here's what happens. You click on the zip file and it opens it up to a folder, and you're just going to drag it to the desktop. That's why I want it right there. So you can see that there. Okay. Now here's the other cool thing. I'm going to click select all, clear all my downloads out. So nice and clean. And I'm going to leave that open. And then from there, I'm going to go to remove BG, and I'm going to go one at a time, and it's very quick. Okay. So I'm going to go here. Now, this is the process of if you have an HEIC file, then remember you're going to go HEIC to JPEG, and then you can drop that in. There's a bunch of different ones, so we can drop that in, and it's going to optimize it. Again, I like a couple different ones. There's a free converter that's nice as well. Matter of fact, that's one, but let me show you this other one. Usually you can just Google HEIC to JPEG. And the second one, here we go, free convert. I like that one better because it seems like it just works a little bit better. So all I did was just drag it over to that, convert JPEG, and download. You can do 5 at a time. So the cool thing about the Mac, you just download it, and it's going to show up right there at the bottom. So boom, now I've got that. Okay, so the next thing is I'm going to open this tab. And I'm going to take this, I'm just going to drag it into there. Okay. And you'll see how it takes it off. And I'm going to download that. So now that's the PNG file. Okay. So the next thing is I'm going to double finger tap. I'm going to click new folder. And I'm just going to call it Twin Day, no background. Okay. And then you just drag it into the folder. The cool thing about the Mac is you can do those types of things. So this is a JPEG file, so I'm just going to drop it there, and it's going to pull the background out. You'll see what it looks like. That's a good one, so we're going to download that. Remember, you're just going to drag it to the folder you made. So you see how fast I can go with this. This is very quick. What I love about the Mac is you can just drag and drop. Now, this is an HEIC file, I believe. That's a JPEG file, so let's look at it. Some of these, for whatever reason, might not work. So if it's an invalid file, then you move on to the next one, and we'll work on the invalid files. So I'm going to continue through the process and continue to download the ones that I want. There's Miss Damon and Miss Pickhock. So as we go through this, so it says only a JPEG or PNG file. So what do? We're going to click right there and drag it into the free convert. Make sure you get to this screen and recognize to see the extension is HEIC. So convert to JPEG, and it's converting it. Now again, you can do 5 at a time, and then I'm going to download that as a JPEG. Once I download that as a JPEG, then I'm going to, before I put it in that folder, we're going to drop it into remove. There that is. And it's preparing to upload. So again, I've done several really quick. There you go, download, and then we're going to drop it into here. All right. So this is also an HEIC file. So we're going to go to the free converter. Let's go back to that original screen. And let's see here. Sometimes you have to kind of manipulate your windows just so you can see everything. On the 21.5-inch Mac, the bigger screen, it's easier to do. I'm using a MacBook right here, but that's okay. Another cool way to do it, if you want, when you look at your viewing settings, click up here and click on list. That way you can kind of work your way through, so that it makes it easier to see, like Emma and Addison here when they did Twin Day, the HEIC file. So I'm just going to grab it and go. So now I know that's the last one that I did. Convert that to, I'll move that up so I can see Twin Day with no background. Put it right here. Download to JPEG, and there is Emma. And let's see, there it is, right. It's working on it. There it is. So I'm going to drag it to the folder, and now the next one is, so that's an HEIC. So again, we're going to go back to the screen we want and see how seamless it is. It's so much easier to just drag things back and forth. I've done several, and in a matter of minutes. So the only problem with free convert is it's going to limit you on like how many you can do, but we'll figure that out, in software and things like that. So let me show you this process here on doing multiple art. We've done one at a time. So a couple ways you can do. You can hit the shift button and hit arrow down, or you can hit the command button and select a bunch of different, let's say you have ones that are selected in different spots. But in this case, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to do 5 at a time. Boom, right there. And we're going to convert them all to a JPEG file. You see how the output is JPEG. Convert, and it's converting. It takes a second to convert. And then once it's done, what I like to do, just so it won't convolute everything and make everything messy, I'm going to go one at a time with it. Boom, one at a time. It always shows up there at the beginning of your downloads. So it's easier to find. It's easier to work with. It's just much more seamless. And that's why I like using a Mac, because it just makes it seem like it's so much easier. So much easier. All right, so we've got those, and see how these are selected. So we need to do a few more. So let's do it. First we're gonna come over here, and we're gonna go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll grab this one, 5, because I want to do 5 at a time, right? Okay. So convert, and it's converting now. I'm just using my finger on the trackpad, where you can do the same thing on the mouse. Okay. So we'll download that again. Let's just go one at a time. That way we can get it. Make sure we don't miss anything, because what we're going to do here is we're going to put these on the TV scroll, and that's why I'm showing you this process. And I'm going to let every class kind of do this, kind of help things out. All right, so that's done. All right, so we know this one right here is a JPEG, so we won't have to mess with that one. So now these are all files that are now JPEG files. Now this is the list if you want to see the icon. So these are the ones that are pulled off the screen. So what I want to do is now I want to start working with removing these. So they're done if they're removed. So let's download that one, drop it into the no background. Let's download this one. The unfortunate thing, you got to do one at a time. So, which is okay, because it kind of gives you an idea if you need to make any changes. Okay. So let's drop that in there. Now, as I do these, I'm going to select those, double finger tap, or right click and move it to trash. Okay. And then we're going to continue through it. So you can see, I literally am only spent a minimal amount of time trying to, and you can also just drag it into the trash can too. That way you keep your folder clean. A lot of times I like to come in here and make the folder the size of what I want. So let me go back again. Here we go. Open that up again and make it the size that I want. There we go. So download that while that's downloading. Okay. And download. Sometimes I like to open them up, make sure I got what I have there. So that's the cool thing. And what it does, it defines the edges. And so I really like Remove BG. Now you can also use, now this one right here, now here's another cool thing you can do. All right. I'm going to download this. Let's say I don't want that individual in the shot. So I'm going to open this. All right. You see how there's not a background. I'm going to open this up. There's a couple ways you can do it. You can hit the Shift and Command key, Shift, Command 5. And what that does on a Mac, it enables you to crop certain spaces. So let's say I want to crop that right there. I'm going to hit the return button and boom, there it is. And so I'm going to put it right there. Okay. Now I'm able to crop what I want. It works really well. You know, so when things are real busy and there's a lot of stuff in the background, I'm not sure what's going on with I Am Human. I don't want to mess with that. So I'm going to, I think I just, yeah. So we just did those. You see how it pulled all that background out. So I don't even need that picture. And that's the same one. So we're going to drop this one down. Okay. Now let's double check our work. Let's double check our work, see what all we need to get done. So we got this one. I'm going to drop that in. That didn't work. Let me try one more time. All right. So sometimes you know, because of some of the software, you got to get back to your original screen. This is the remove.bg original screen. Just drop it in. And sometimes you got to ask it, it's got to ask you if you're human. I don't know why it does this. So then you go through this process of, you know, establishing that you're human. Okay. And when you establish that you verify, it's going to keep asking you like, all right, so let's continue that. So we got there. I think that's the only line, or the tiger, whatever, tiger. Sometimes you got to do more than one. Verify. There we go. Now, just because you're using it a lot. All right, so this is going to pull the background out. There you go. See how that works? This really works well. You pull it in, you know, and the cool thing about it, it does make it a PNG, and I like that because, you know, I can just drag those back to the trash can. These are all the same ones, so I'm going to drag that one down. Okay, and then I'm going to pull that to remove BG again. And there's our good twin. That's one that I took with my phone. And so you have that. So there's the example of how that process goes. Now, the cool thing is I can go in here and I can go to list, and there's all the stuff that I have, which is really cool. Now I'm going to go back and see what else I need to do. Since I am working with downloads, I'm going to go back to select all. I've used all the downloads I need, so I'm going to clear those out. That way it kind of cleans up my world there. I'm going to go back to the free convert original file, and I'm just kind of moving my windows around. Okay, there's the downloads. I can close that out. Okay, these are all twin day with no background. How can I tell? I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click on the icons. Okay, I can move those around. You know, you can group by kind. You can group by, if I want to clean up, it's going to clean up and put them where you can just see them. Okay. Now let's say you want to see them all at once and you're working with it. I'm going to make this almost full screen, and I'm going to hit the Command plus button. Command is the same as Control on your Chromebook. So Command plus, and it makes it larger where you can kind of manipulate that. You can go through there, or Command minus, just so where you can see it. So let's make that screen smaller, and then I'm going to close it. So the next time I open it up, it'll make it the same size. That's another good thing about the Mac. So now I'm right here. So I'm back to my twin day picture. Now, one other thing that I did want to show you, if you go into Adobe Express like we have used before, there's a really cool technique here that you can use with Adobe Express. And with that, let me log into my Adobe, and it's going to show you the process. So if I want to use Adobe and I'm doing everything through Adobe, I'm going to hit the plus sign, and you have this little remove background tool. Okay. Now, I don't think it'll use the HEIC. You're going to have to use a JPEG file to put it in there. So I believe, let me see if it'll use. All right. So it's not going to let you use, you're going to have to move the JPEG file right there to pull it in. So that's the process. That's step one. And then you can also use this as a Windows unit as well. So that's how you use remove background, and we'll go to the next step next.